G'day, mate. Welcome back to Factorio. Back to Factorio with me, Jenny. We're back in the SubX series, and last week, hang on, I've lost OBS entirely. There we go, found it. Last week, we managed to get this lovely build down here finished off, which pumps out a ridiculous amount of speed 3, stacked speed 3s, and stack efficiency 3 modules. And consequently, as you can see, I have a little temporary solution down here where we fill up a passive provider chest, which is full, and then everything else just gets booted out to an active provider, which gets picked up by the trash train and at least brought up to base rather than this build backing up. So I need to go down there and I need to fix that. I need to have some way of bringing cargo from down there up to here. Now, I was considering making fast and light drives down here, but it requires 2 extra components. So fast and light drives is what's actually holding up the factory the most. They require low density structures and processing units. Now, low density structures, I have a lovely train. Nope. This train, which ships around low density structures, I can, because it's a train supply manager train, I can have it called to down here. That's not really an issue. And then I do have blue circuits on site, somewhat. As you can see, it is the belt that is the least amount backed up. And as these things require 500 processing units, I could be in a little bit of trouble if I decide to use those to make fast and light drives. So I think we're better off leaving this build as is, not touching it, not tweaking it, and just shipping everything back to main base. Because main base has a good amount of materials. In fact, if we open up this lovely chest, we can see there currently happens to be 3,000 extra productivity modules in stock in the main base. Which actually means all of these have kicked back in, they've all filled back up. Speaking of these, I actually want to do that. And do that. And do that. And empty that chest. Because at the moment everything's sort of ratioed out to one of these, 4 of these now, which are the thrusters, because I need 4 of them. 2 lots of fuel cells, 1 lot of, I want to say habitation. Oh, it is habitation. 1 lot of, I have no idea. That's life support. 1 lot of, I don't know, and astrometrics. Command center and astrometrics. So I want to have these buffered at least in the correct ratios. So that's number 1. Number 2, I have already emptied out chests and rearranged stuff down here multiple times and shipped everything back on the trash train, which has then brought it into our lovely decompressor system and has just decompressed it and dumped it in the main base. Consequently, I somehow have 46,000 speed modules up here. It probably also helps that these have been running pretty much flat out. In fact, I want to duplicate that because this one's not running. It's not running because it's not running. It's not running because it's backed all the way up. Hang on, let's get these recipes swapped over. Wrong one. And swap that over to productivity module. Yeah, it's backed all the way up. These were full. This is why this build's not actually doing anything. So I'm going to add another one in doing productivity modules. And I'm actually going to slide you over a tile. Thank you. Just so I can paste down another productivity module 1 if I want it. Because productivity modules are actually a shortage currently. At the same time, I also added a couple of extra labs on the end just to try and get a little bit more science out of things. But what I actually want to do this episode is I want to do 2 important things. One, because logistics. Module. Turns out we actually have a decent supply of efficiency module 3s now as well. Productivity module 6, not so much. And speed module 6 getting there, but we'll look at speed modules in a second. First thing I want to actually do is I want to put down one of you guys and request in, down, down, put that there, set you to efficiency 4s, because that's what's required to start making beacons Mark 3. And I want to up your request. Hang on. Bad beacon. I want to up your limit from 100 to 800, please. Because we definitely have all the components required for beacons Mark 2. 3,000. Yeah, keep 3,000 in the chest, please. Alright. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, go to my logistics. And I don't actually want 300 on me anymore. We're pretty much done with that project. So those can all go back into storage. In fact... Oh, no, we'll leave it for the moment. So, with my absolute abundance of speed module 3s, I have added speed module 6s to this build. It is almost to ratio. Which means, of course, I want to do the logical thing. And I want to double it. At the same time, if I can find... Nope. Oh, you got mixes of speed 3s and speed 1s. Oh. We'll put some speed 3s in there. What's the ratio look like now? It is half a machine too short. Let's just try tacking that on there. That's wrong. Tacking that on there without that. And putting in one of those. How do you feel now? Yeah, we've now got too many of these machines. We've got too many of a lot of these machines. Alright, I need to get more Prod 6s and put some Prod 6s into these builds, but that requires Prod 6s to actually exist. L. Prod... nope. Nope. Alright, we're just going to have to wait for this to crank out a few more modules for us. So, next thing I need to do is I need to, as I said, fix up that train station down there. And have it do a... Basically, have some sort of train that comes through here, which we're actually going to put in right here. To there, to there. Signal there, signal there. I'm not going to do anything fancy with this train at all. This is going to be like, I could set up a fancy train supply manager one, but I think, sorry Joel, we're going to call this module base drop. And what I'm going to do is put down a loco, 2 wagons, some fuel, and then we're going to do inserter into a belt box, into a unload, load, active provider. That's what we're going to do. Plain, simple, nothing too complicated, and that's how we're going to sort our problem. So we want you to go to module base drop, empty, the other empty. Yep, and then I want to go down to this station, passenger not present, passenger present, and at this end, I think we're just going to take these and we're going to just load them directly into the train. Nothing more complicated than that. Just going to have a plain, simple, load it in the train, load in the train, set up some conditions, and just ship the whole lot back to base, because I think that's the safest answer. The base can deal with decompressing it. The base can deal with using the modules as required. And I think that's just going to simplify things. Yeah, because this is... I looked at a couple of things. I looked at, like, you know, this is 14 builds. And I looked like if I section 2 of these to efficiency, 2 of these to productivity, 2 of these to speed, make fast and light drives on site, it means there'd still be 8 left over to do speed module 3s and a stacked recipe, which is still like 200 odd speed modules per minute. And I thought like, I'm just complicating things. If the main base just has Liam Straight, thank you for being a Twitch Prime subscriber from memory. We want you to go, whoop, stop train. Come here. We want you to have 30 seconds of inactivity or 240 seconds has passed. Or one of these boxes is full. So we're going to bring you, actually you out here. And it's going to get put on there. We're going to unload that box. You're going to do the exact same for our speed modules, except you're going to unload that box. Okay. I want to have a couple of those in my hand. So I want to have item count equals those. Item count equals those. Less than 0. Less than 0 I'll do. That can go away. That can go away. We'll get there. Hang on. Manual. Okay, you're not quite full. You're not quite full. You're full. Perfect. 200 equals 200. 200. So, if you're full in the rear cargo or the front cargo, or for, we'll go with 5 minutes, or 30 seconds of inactivity, you can then leave, which means I back the train up and we send you to here. And one of those conditions are met instantly, and we're off and running. Yes, I can launch faster. Thank you, 4 over 4, for being a YouTube subscriber. Your intergalactic spaceship is in the mail. I promise you it shall arrive shortly, all depending on intergalactic shipping times. But yeah, it should be with you any day now. So that finishes this base. This base is now pretty much set up. We're waiting for concrete to be delivered and put down, but that's automated. I actually don't have to worry about that at all. Yeah, it's a little bit broken because of how much concrete's been asked to put down already. Actually, no, that's on. Yeah, like those. I don't want those on me. We'll just trash them and the base will take care of them. Okay. Jump out of the train. So you're just going to decompress, shove it on those chests, and then the base can take care of them. Okay. So that's another train setup. And like I said, very, very simple train. It has a very, very simple job in life. We can then hopefully ignore it. You're going to be orange, and you're going to be orange, And we do that and that. Not that we've finished building the first set yet, but you know, give it time. Give it time. Actually, you should be copied and pasted. You should be copied and pasted. Walk away from those again. You're making beacon mark 3s. So let's try a beacon mark 1 beside a boop. Beacon mark 2 beside a beacon mark 3. Okay, so you do distribution effect of 0.5, and it's still like 2 tiles all around, only has 2 module slots. You are 2 tiles all the way around and only has 2 module slots, and you have a distribution efficiency of 75%. So you're taking 2 speed modules at 50% each, which equals 100% speed, and then only passing on 50% of the effect, giving us a total speed boost of 50%. You're taking 2 speed modules at a combined total of 100%, passing on a 75% efficiency boost, which means the overall speed is 75%, along with also bumping the energy consumption significantly. And then finally, we have... Oh, you have a distribution efficiency of 100%. So 2 speed module, and I'm only using 3s because I have 3s on me. Put 50% in each in this particular beacon. That still means 100% effectiveness for everything around it. So we've gone from a 50% speed boost per beacon to a 100% speed boost per beacon, which is somewhat scary. Very scary. Okay, you're going to make efficiency 4s. You're going to make beacons as fast as we can get them. I honestly have no idea where the speed module 4s are coming from, but they're coming from somewhere. Oh, I think they're coming from this little machine here. Yes. Okay, ratio for this is you're still too slow. How many speed 6s do we have? 12 there and 7 there. So I need to make you go faster, right? And you go faster? I have 2 machines too many. Alright, give that one just a little bit of a boost. 1.5 machines too many. Fine, we'll give it all the boost. 0.9 machines too far. Too much. As in that whole machine. Yeah, that whole machine. Okay, I guess that's the answer. We'll just have 2 of these just cranking the out the speed 6s as fast as possible. Which means somehow this one's 2 ratio. Oh, because you don't have full speed boost and you actually have... Well, you're not even passing into... Oh. Good one, JD. Okay, you're meant to pass into that machine. Because that's how this machine works. Actually, you got to request the chest. I don't have to worry about direct insertion. Never mind. I'll walk away. Okay. You request those as well. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Alright. So after our massive conquest down here, setting up this, I think the next thing we need to look at doing he's probably setting up a fast and light build that goes faster. Because currently our little rocket silo that could has plenty of, down here, plenty of low density structures, plenty of rocket control units. We're bringing in more as required. We have rocket fuel, which we'll just go manually have a look at because it's right here. I could definitely say we have plenty of rocket fuel, so that's not an issue either. So it's going about as fast as it can. Now, I still have the whole supporters rocket components that I need to start looking at automating and making. I have, like... I have got this kicking over ever so slowly, which is just making fusion reactors to make fusion reactor Mark IIs, because we're going to need that for the supporter fusion reactor. Energy shield Mark II, same story there. Automated beacons. Oh, that can go away. You're definitely doing nothing. Better. Down here. Automated energy shield Mark III. So we are also stockpiling those for the supporter parts. Speed module 4s, nope. Nuclear fuel. Yes. Yeah, that would be what I call a little bit stockpiled. Actually, I could probably just start automating that one. Habitation, nah, not really. Productivity module 4, nope. 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 And that's essentially the exact same recipe. Well, it is the exact same recipe because you can't get it better than a fast and light drive. So, yeah. Now, haven't started doing those, not worried about doing those, not probably until we can get things started launching a little bit faster. So I think the next thing we need to do, because if we consider this as like we had like a Mark 1 circuit build, okay? Mark 1 circuit build, which was running on basic, very, very basic modules, non-productivity 6, all that sort of stuff. We've then upgraded it to a Mark 2.5-ish build, where we started like putting productivity 6s throughout the whole thing, because we'd finally built up a stockpile of productivity 6s. In saying that, module. We only have 238 productivity 6s in stock and a grand total of 24 speed modules in stock. I know I have 43,000 speed module 3s in stock and 1.8 thousand productivity module 3s in stock, but they haven't been upgraded. They haven't been converted over to the bigger and better things yet. And that takes time and that takes effort. And I've had people comment like, why aren't you using purple belt everywhere? Because it's expensive. And I don't have the purple belt. Transport. Yeah, I use lots of red belt. You could see that plain as day that I use lots of red belt. I have some amount of blue belt. I have some amount of green belt. I have some amount of purple belt. Purple undergrounds are really, really, really horrible. And I have been letting the base slowly stockpile the better belts. If we wander up here, we can see that this is capped at 4K and this is capped at 4K. And I have been wandering up here and intentionally opening the cap up and saying, you know what? We could probably have 6,000. Now, and confirming that my red belt is definitely being recycled. Is now. It was already, but now it's definitely being recycled. So yeah, you are being recycled, and you are definitely being recycled. So yeah, I have been upgrading bits of the base slowly over time, but like this would be, like I said, a Mark 2.5 for our module builds. This is like really the Mark III version, and the Mark III version, just for clarification, we're going to open up a blueprint and select the whole thing, because people are asking me like, Jetty, why aren't you using Beacon Mark IIIs? Because I don't have them. Why are you not using Module Mark VIs for everything? Because I don't have them. Why aren't you using Purple Belt for everything? Because I don't have them. This is 10,000 Speed Module 3s, with 2,500 Productivity 3s, with 1,000 Productivity 6s. Now, look, I'm the first one to admit that as you upgrade the productivity of the builds, they get smaller. So if you remember, our original green circuit build was like 3 or 4 green circuit builds long to give us I think it was a 45 and then a 75 belt out. I can't even remember now. They were built to a certain size, and they used obviously more beacons and more productivity 3s overall. But you got to remember, a productivity 6 module is 100 productivity 3s. This here is 10,000 productivity 3 modules. If I converted all the productivity 3s over to 6s, I'd only get, what, 250? Yeah, we go from 2,500 all the way down to 250 of them. Yeah, same with my beacons. Like, obviously, I'd shrink the build, so I'd be using less electric furnaces. I can afford the electric furnaces now. This is why we're using Electric Furnace Mark III. I can afford Assembly Machine 5 now. This is why we're using them. But I definitely can't afford 4,500 Beacon Mark 6s, each one requiring 1 speed 4 and 1 efficiency 4. Each one of those requiring 6 efficiency, or 6 of the tier 3 modules. Like, it adds up. It's an astronomical amount. So, I think what's going to happen, not this episode, I think it's what we're going to start working on our way to next episode, is basically making our, if this was our Mark 2.5 and this is our Mark 3 build, where we're starting using stacked recipes to basically simplify the logistics, slow down the amount of slow down the machines, which is fine because now we have bigger and better beacons and modules we can use, which should again hopefully slow down the amount of or should mean that we can feed the machines because we can throw more speed at them. It doesn't really matter that they have an overall speed decrease or an overall increase in crafting time by 25, because that's the size that our recipes stack in. I hope that makes some sort of sense. So, plan for next week, I think, is to come up to this build. I don't want to go off site yet. I want to stick inside the base because we do not have the modules on hand for me to wait around to have them delivered. All right. So I think I want to come up to here, and I don't want to change my inputs. So I still want to use like 3 blue belts, 3 blue belts, 4 blue belts, whatever happens to be. Change our smelters, possibly not our smelters, because smelters are very expensive. Maybe, we'll see. Change everything over. So start using a green circuit build that uses the Prod Mod 6s with the Speed Module 6s as well, probably in Beacon Mark 3s, because that'll give me a total amount of green circuits I can output per second. And then we'll use that number to probably go backwards through the smelters to work out how big the smelter array needs to be, to then work our way forward from our green circuits to work out how big red circuits has to be, to work out how big blue circuits has to be, to then work out whatever's left over goes into our actual module builds. Because this is only doing 2 belts. Well, it's doing 4 builds total. I'd really like to change this up. And, wow, that's actually full. Well, we're going to run over there real quick and we're going to empty a chest, because that's actually stopping a large portion of the build from actually turning on. Fixed. Double fixed. Trash slots. Triple fixed. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Well, just visit this one at the same time. Yeah, so I think this is where I want to start next. I want to start upgrading these builds one by one, going for the better beacons, the better modules. This is why I'm quite happy to start making beacon Mark 3s and mass produce them, because hopefully, yeah, if there's 5,000 in stock, definitely. Hopefully we can feed them fast enough. At the moment I have a blue circuit shortage, which is probably due to these builds turning on. But I can always cap these inserters or just turn them off outright. Blue circuits. Or possibly upgrade that belt box inserter. Because, no, that's definitely not slowing things down. How about down here? Do I have spare blues? Yeah, that looks like I have just a few spare blues. Let's see, other build. Okay, so this one doesn't have spare blues. But this one does. Yeah, you're not running. You're not really running. This side is running fairly well. Okay, so yeah, I think next week we're going to start up here. We're going to start up here, and this will be the plan for the week. Upgrade this to a stacked recipe design, which take up a lot of space, so that could be its own issue. Upgrade it to a stacked recipe design. Fill it full as whatever beacons we can possibly get. Beacons and modules we could possibly get and throw into the build, and then take it from there. Yup. Actually, in the meantime, there was one other thing I want to get done this week, and it's the main thing actually slowing down the base currently. I want to upgrade all that to green belt, which is, I know, fairly pointless in the middle of your bus. I do know this. But I'm hoping if I upgrade it, I can get a tiny bit more throughput out of it. Same as I'm upgrading these, because technically this outputs 44 per second. Oh, I thought it was 48. When it was going on to a blue belt anyway, doing 45. Okay. Okay. Alright, the other thing I want to do is I wanted to go through these machines as they actually get copper and throw some prod 6s into them like so, and then I'll actually change this over to do that into that, and just going to do a quick itty bitty little upgrade planary thingy. And we're just going to upgrade those that seem to be able to get copper, because our low density structure build is, it's actually what's holding up yellow sites. The low density structures don't really make it out the bottom all that often. So yeah, if I can squeeze some extra productivity out of them just by lending them the prod mods, they don't get to keep this build, won't get to keep them. It's purely on a borrow basis. Yeah. Except I just think I spent them. No, it's still 87 in stock. You go over there. Actually, I'm starting to work. I wonder, is it a... Yeah, well, that one and that one into those, Starting to think it's actually an inserter problem. One. Two. You upgrade the inserters and suddenly things don't make it nearly as far as they once were. I'll throw 2 in there and then we'll call that a day. Yeah, about that. Okay, we've lent some modules. That's the thing. We've lent some modules. We will... No. Pay... Low... Density structures over last minute. That's our consumption. There we go. 600-ish up to 1,000. Okay. So that's definitely helped. And now these modules are just here on a loan basis. We'll end up taking them back eventually. I'm bringing low density structures from a train. I think it'd just be better putting a unloader into a requester into an unloader and just dumping them onto this belt. I don't know. We'll worry about that next week. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to call it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode where we start, yeah, major overhaul reconstruction. It's going to be a fairly intense task. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Alright, bye.